Why do people hate migrants and refugees? Some conservative Christians argue that they're breaking the law by coming across the border. Well, first of all, seeking asylum is a human right. Second, these Christians know that the law is not the only judge of morality. There are unjust laws. After all, some of those same Christians have no trouble saying that other laws are unjust, like abortion and same-sex marriage. So why are they being so selective? Other Christians like Jeff Sessions and Sarah Huckabee Sanders use Bible verses and talk about things being biblical to defend their positions.
It is very biblical to enforce the law. That is actually repeated a number of times throughout the Bible.
But they must know that the whole thrust of the Old and New Testaments when it comes to migrants and refugees is that we're supposed to welcome them. That's God's law. So why are so many Christians still against migrants and refugees? Well, one reason is that they've been so demonized and dehumanized. The president said the other day that they were infesting the country, as if they were vermin. That's the way Nazi leaders talked about Jews, and the Hutu talked about Tutsi in Rwanda, and how Americans talked about Japanese who were interned in World War II. It's much easier to treat people like dirt if they're seen as animals. I think the only solution is for people to come to know the stories of migrants and refugees. For 2 years in the 1990s, I worked with refugees in East Africa, and I met people who were fleeing warfare, rape, famine, and drought. They had the guts to do what any of us would want to do. They fled their homelands at great risk to find safety for their families. They were the hardest working, most inspiring, and most faithful people I've ever met. So the next time you're tempted to think of a migrant or a refugee as an animal infesting our country, remember that they're human beings with stories, just like you. And they are doing exactly what you would do if your family were in danger. And if that still doesn't work, ask yourself what you're going to say at the end of your life when God asks you, how did you care for your brothers and sisters who were refugees and migrants?